fog. I'm still making videos for you. Let's do it. This is how to be optimistic in a collapsing world. What we can think of that makes us have any hope at all. Well, one thing is that as civilization collapses, we can move the genetic organisms, the plants and trees that are so important from around the world to all the other places. You know, there didn't used to be potatoes in Europe, which is identified now with Ireland heavily, but really everywhere. There didn't used to be tomatoes. You know, we think of tomatoes and Italian pizza. Didn't used to exist in the European environment. And there's a lot of plants that moved the other way. Corn was another one that went to Europe. I don't know when they got it, but corn's a pretty important product, you know, a very important plant. And there's other ones we don't always think of, like the tree that produces quinine, whose name I don't even know. And quinine would be good to have in everywhere that there's malaria. Because right now we have other solutions, artificial solutions for malaria, but we might not have those later. And those dang mosquitoes are one of the biggest killers in the world. That's the most murderous animal in the world, second to humans. So if we really counted up all the things that could move from Europe to the Americas, it's a lot. And it makes everyone richer. It makes everyone more secure with their food. We can do better food forest farming. And so that is a pretty big deal. When civilization collapses, not if, but when, we can do better than we've done before. The cities will collapse and there'll be a bunch of fighting and death. And later on we will scavenge in those cities. We will scavenge the metal and we might even resettle those cities. Because they have a lot of, you know, protected locations and roofs and things. A bunch of those buildings will fall down because they weren't really built to survive. And they're not that comfortable always. But that edge, the edge that exists in those cities, will provide for flourishing life, native life in those places, and in some cases not native life. So we can take hope in that for those who survive, we enter into a world that is richer. Well, it's more polluted right now, and our own bodies are polluted, but we can enter into a world that has more richness than ever before. It may not have more silver or gold, because those have been mined out quite a bit, and they're really not as valuable as the price indicates. But our scientific knowledge, if we can retain it, gives us more options, a lot more. So we can start to build a replacement for the failing world now. We don't have to necessarily fight against the world as it exists. That's probably mostly pointless. Their goal is to kill themselves. Our goal should be to rebuild a better world with better ethics, better social agreements, and to avoid the powers of oppression that have existed in all parts of the world. And don't even tell me about the type of oppression that you hate the most, whether it's gender, race, or whatever. You know, everybody's killed everybody everywhere. The noble savage thing is a myth. Okay, there was very few places in the world where people were just living all happy and everything was for fucking almost free. And nobody had to do any work for any food. These are kind of delusions of spoiled people who were raised in the industrial world. The spoiled children in the industrial world. So there's going to be a lot of work to do to survive. And we can do it better or worse. I hope you're on board for doing better than worse. I really do hope that. if you're up for that shit, if you're really hardcore and you're young and strong and you don't want to die, drop me a note. I've taken the risk of putting myself online. I've taken the risk of being open about the difficulties we're facing. And it's not a popular view, I realize that. Like, most of the people in the world think my views are horrible. You know, that I actually want civilization to fall. And it's like, no, I don't. But that's the direction we're headed. I'm just predicting it. Doesn't mean I want it, and I don't take any action to promote it. I do take action to promote food forest farming and finding a way to live with the earth in a sustainable way, to have a win-win relationship with the earth itself. Because right now, civilization is just stolen. We raped the earth. It's a horrible thing. And this is not sustainable. It's not going to work out for long. So I have a lot of ideas that I share here on this channel and privately with other people. You know, I'm not sure who to trust, and you should be very careful about who you trust, because most of the people are just looking for how they can enslave and steal from others. That is the case. Even the ones that talk all with pretty words and say, oh, I've got the good solution and it's all magical and shit. No. They're trying to entice you into continuing your slavery. Don't fall for that shit. Good luck to you. I don't know. I'm just trying. And I'm not a perfect person. I'm kind of nuts and not successful by your standards. I don't have a fancy car. I don't have comfort. Although, you know, I don't think comfort comes at that great a cost. I think it comes from good design. The good design of a new society where we can keep ourselves clean and fed and clothed, but not using the systems that exist now, and not using products that came from far away from slave labor. You can do it. You can break away. But where you're at, I don't know your situation, and so you're going to have a tough time. You know, maybe you should move. That may or may not help. But prepare for some tough shit, because it's going to happen. And I really do sincerely wish you the best. Even though most people listening to this video are going to watch the collapse and either die or watch their children die or their grandchildren die. It's not a good thing. Good luck to you.